Okay, today is Monday, and the surprise of the day is that all the stores are open, at least here in Marysville, Michigan, or Port Huron, Michigan. The gas station is open, Meijer is open, but I drove over to A&W burger place. It's closed. And by the way, one thing about A&W is that, you know how most fast chain restaurants, fast food like McDonald's, of course many people would laugh at the idea of calling it a restaurant, but let's say burger places, right? You go to McDonald's in Moscow, Russia, and then you go to McDonald's in Chicago, Illinois, or Port Huron, Michigan. You buy a burger, let's say a Big Mac, it'll taste the same, okay? Because they use the same recipes, same meat, same sauces, But A&W, why I wanted to go there, because like a couple of miles from here, you cannot walk. But the one in Canada, the meat is totally different. And why I like them, the meat is like a real, kind of like a home burger, like thick and, thick and juicy, as they say about the steak, right? Totally different. Bread is different. Bread tastes different, and especially in Western Canada, a couple of places I've been to, they advertise bison meat. I don't know if it's wild. It's probably not wild, of course. It's like domesticated bison, but it tastes amazing. A burger from a bison meat. Here, you go to this A&W here in Port Huron, it's the same sloppy burger with meat falling apart because it cannot even stay in one place, like, the beef patty. It's the same taste as a Burger King, where I hate to go there. Or, well, Arby's, I think. Arby's, one of them doesn't do regular meat, it's only smoked meat. But anyway, I'm telling you guys, if you're ever in Canada, just before going to Canada, go to A&W in the States, and then when you're in Canada, look for A&W burger place on Google Maps and try that one, and you will wish you lived in Canada. I'm honest, I love those burgers. It's like, it's real stuff, no BS. Anyway, so today is Monday, and despite what some people think, there's a lot of that truckers have to do on the day off, especially when you're independent like me. First order of the day was to check how my videos were doing, and one guy posted a comment, and he called himself an old timer. He posted a comment basically saying all this, automated transmissions is not good, that you lose control, you're no longer in charge, blah blah blah. And I'm thinking, okay, so what about the everything in construction, all construction equipment, it's all automatic gearboxes, right? Like you just push the gear. Well, actually no, not all. Like on my dozer you have to select the gear, but still it's like semi-automatic, right? It's all hydraulics, electronics, everything is electric, pneumatic, right? And so I wrote a comment about that. So I said, then we should probably stop all the trains, or maybe put manual transmissions into railroad trains, to put the guy in the locomotive cab, more in charge, because I'm pretty sure those guys, because it's electric, right? It's diesel and electric power. It's all automatic, and I'm talking about the railroad. And as it often happens, and I didn't call anybody a moron or an idiot or anything, but as soon as people see somebody not agreeing with their opinion, right away they make it personal. So this guy calls me a rookie. Oh, you must be a rookie, you just recently started driving. And I just deleted the comment, like, what's the point? You cannot argue with these people. So I deleted the comment, I blocked the guy, so now he no longer can post comments on my channel. But if I'm a rookie driving from 2005, which is 16 years, if somebody with 16 years of experience is a rookie, then I'm guessing in eyes of this guy, you are experienced if you started driving before World War I, or maybe between World War I and World War II. So then you experienced. Unbelievable. Anyway, but I'm glad that the videos are doing good. My Eaton Comments videos are doing great. And of course my beach video is not doing too well, because nobody's interested in how I do the magic with the cameras. But I just wanted to add something. So these two cameras, so this is the 9, this is the 8, right? And so what I did today, like I was, I saw some comments, and actually I had the same feeling that 9, when I was recording on the beach, the colors looked washed out. Like the colors on my older 8 looked, you see how this is bigger. So on the 8, the colors looked, more pleasing, more saturated. And I thought, wait a second, so maybe this thing just overexposes, And what I did is, there's a truck sitting, I'm still at the Marathon Gas in Marysville, Michigan. And I'm sitting on my bunk in the sleeper. And so I took these cameras like this, put them side by side, and I switched them on, but not recording, just looking at the rear screen, like this. And I pointed them, like holding like this, at the truck outside. There's a truck in front of me parked like this, alongside a truck with a trailer, about 15 meters, what is it, like 150 feet away. And I put both cameras in the same settings, linear mode, which makes the angle a bit sharper, so it can shoot further, makes objects not as tiny, because if you put it super view or wide, everything is tiny because the angle is so big, right? So I put them in linear mode, 1080p at 60, auto white balance, auto everything, like the way it comes from the factory. And I look at them, and guess what? On the 9, the angle was wider, so they changed the lens. And of course, when the angle is wider, you catch more light, and it's dark inside the truck, it's bright outside, and right away I saw that the picture was different. The 9 was overexposing, which means that the colors were washed out, because it's bright, pretty much summer day. And the white balance was wrong. Like the colors, because of this, the colors did not look saturated enough, And so I found the manual controls. Like at first I just wanted to return it, but of course I'm pretty sure Best Buy is closed today. But it's a great camera, so I can do like 4K, 5K. Well, I can do 4K with this, I never did, but I want to keep it. And so I found the manual controls, and I put them on the screen there. So now I have exposure compensation button right there in the back, and I have white balance, and I have ISO minimum and maximum. And so what I found when I was playing with these settings, I found that if I put 0.5 minus 0.5 EV exposure compensation, make it a bit darker, and then change the white balance from auto to, like, it gives you temperature. It's actually pretty advanced. I think you can do the same on 8. Like when you move that little thing on white balance, it goes into Kelvin, right? And for example, 4500, I think, 5000, that's a daylight, Kelvin, the temperature of color. And so when I move that little slider to like up from the auto position, I think it was 4500 Kelvin. And then I hold them like this, the same, right? And the picture was, at least on the back of the screen, the picture looked very similar. But it's very sharp. On 9, it's very sharp. Just something is off with the exposure compensation and the way it measures the light. And that's the problem. When it overexposes, of course, all the colors looked washed out, But I have some footage that actually I'm going to do today. I'm gonna make a movie, because Eaton Comments, when I was driving the truck, one of the guys, and they had the GoPro 9, one of the guys had a bunch of these GoPros, and they were shooting me driving, and then they gave me the footage so I can use it. But first I'm gonna do a video, send it to them, you know, for them to okay it, and then I'm gonna put it on. And so I see that the picture is super sharp. Actually, it looks pretty good. And I know that they were using this bigger one, 9. And so I still have hope in this camera, so I want to keep it. And this one, next video, you'll see a bit of a surprise, because I'm gonna use this for a second angle, and we're gonna do picture in picture. I know I tried this before in iMovie. I know how to do it in iMovie. And so then I did my books. You know, my expenses, my envelope. So just take all my receipts, and you see, by the way, now it's all proper because I corrected. I apologize for that flipped screen. I found how to correct it, so now it should show correctly, I think. So I did my books. I calculated how much money I made, how many millions of dollars, and then I started my logbook, and I drove to Marathon, 10 meters away, and I got the fuel is $3.29 US per gallon, so it's pretty much like $1.09 Canadian per liter, which is way cheaper than what I can get it in Canada. And then I drove to Love's, because these guys over here, they don't sell DEF. I drove to Love's 5 miles away, and I got half a tank of DEF because I was getting low. And then I thought, in a kind of like a surprise move, this gets requested a lot, but usually I don't disclose these top secret numbers. But because today is Monday, mostly because it's a Monday and because it's a Labor Day Monday, I'm gonna give you some facts to think about. These are all Canadian dollars, by the way. And if you go to Google and you punch in CAD to USD, you will see, I'll say something like $1.25. Actually, $1.25 is the opposite. So 1,250 Canadian dollars equal 1,000 US dollars. So if you take basically US dollar price and you multiply it by 1.25, that's Canadian price. Well, let's just say if I know I'm spending Canadian dollars and I'm buying, let's say, a cup of coffee, which costs, let's say, $2 here, in Canadian it'll be $2.50 for me, because it's 125 Canadian for each one US dollar, right? And so here we go. So I made a list to give you an idea, because this was a pretty good month. I did, I'm talking about July. My YouTube income went down, but the revenue from the truck was pretty good. And so I only have 3 sources of income. The main one is the truck, second one is YouTube, and occasionally I make a couple $100 a year on my photography, because I'm registered with a stock agency, you know, where I upload my pictures, and sometimes somebody buys them, like a newspaper wants a picture or something, or some guy buys something to put in a frame, you know. I think last year I made like $200. But of course, that's not serious. You cannot live on that. That's more like a hobby with a price tag, you know. So anyway, the revenue for July, according to Captain Sergei, and I approve this message, the revenue for July, and again, all numbers are Canadian dollars, okay? Divide by 1.25 to get US numbers. Total revenue, 36,192. 36,192. $36,192. Expenses, repair, and items I bought for the truck, $298. Fuel, 5340. Kenworth payment, 3563. F60, that's my abbreviation, 60-ton Fontaine, 2585. Tolls, 469. Jeep payment, 1025. Personal insurance, which I don't need in Canada, but I needed to enter US as a trucker, 133. That's per month for July. Truck insurance, 1787. Licensing and permits. You'd be surprised to know that in the month of July, my licensing and permits were 9142. I'm not kidding. $9,142. Because I paid the $22.90, 500 US, but there were a bunch of permits with these heavy loads. $9,142. My load board was $200. Driver check, because I need to keep an account with this clinic where they can do a random drug and alcohol testing, $50. And I only need this because I'm a trucker. My phone, internet, 2 phones, and I have this modem somewhere there, but because I paid $200 for the new phone, which is $250 Canadian, right? So I spent $834 on my all my phones and internet this month, in July. And I probably spent about $1,000 on hotels, but I was, for 6 nights I was in Battle Creek. And then the last expense item is truck parking, because you have to park the truck somewhere. That's where I keep my car, and I have 2 parking spots, so they cost me $350, $350. And so if we take $36,192 and we deduct all the expenses I just mentioned, that leaves Captain Sergei with $9,416 Canadian to buy toys, visit museums, fly to see Egyptian pyramids, and maybe a couple of bucks to save for retirement. So there you have it. So this was, all in all, it was a good month, but still, out of 36 grand, I'm keeping $9,400. So the expenses here are awesome. You know, I mean, awesome in the bad meaning of the word. You know, like they inspire awe, like frightening. So basically, you make 100 grand, you spend 70,000 on expenses. And this was a good month. And I only did 4 trips. So I'm gonna leave you with that. And so now I'm gonna do the video using that bonus footage from Eaton Cummins. It's gonna be cool. You will see the truck, you know, the Peterbilt with the B-train, and then the K-Whopper with the multi-axle Michigan flatbed flying around, and I'm behind the wheel. And I'm all ready to cross the border tomorrow, so I just need to print out my ACI manifest. It's all approved. I'll have to stop on the US side, get my paperwork stamped for export. Turns out you need to do this even though it's a rental. This thing goes for it's being rented to the pipeline, so it's coming back eventually to US. And then I'm going to the Canadian side, get it cleared, and start trucking to my yard in Cambridge, and that's where the fun will begin. We'll be reshuffling the trailer's components, adding the Jeep, getting rid of the last axle and adding the Stinger. And sometime before Christmas, I should be near Edmonton, Alberta, delivering this pipe layer. And as I just realized this morning from reading the paperwork, it is not 1979. it is not a 1978 model. It is, pause, 1977. 1977, and it still works, and people still make money on renting it. So that's, to me, seems like a much better business, you know, with machinery. Buy and sell, or buy and rent, because this trucking thing, I'm telling you. Anyway, that's it. Happy Monday, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this crazy video.